Good day, everybody, and welcome back. This is me, the J to the E to the double F-ry, and you are listening to the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. I am Jeffrey Harris, and we are back with a new episode. For today's interview, it is going to be the MLW Tag Team Champions, Ross and Marshal Von Erich, the sons of Kevin Von Erich of the Great Wrestling Von Erich family. We had a great conversation with them. We are about to get to that in a moment. Wherever you are, I hope you and your families are safe and doing well through the shutdowns or quarantines wherever you are. I hope everyone's doing safe and healthy. And if you've managed to find this show, thank you very much. So here we go. This is an exclusive interview with Ross and Marshal Von Erich, the Von Erichs of MLW. Here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Jeffrey Harris, and we are back for the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. For today's interview, it is the MLW Tag Team Champions. They are writing their own journey. They are discovering what it means to become wrestling legends. They are Ross and Marshal Von Erich of the Great Von Erich family. Guys, thank you very much for this today. I really appreciate it. So, first of all, if I could just get you guys both to say your name, just because since there are two of you, and we'll be talking with you on digital audio.
This is Ross. Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it. And this is Marshall. Man, what a great intro. You gave me chills.
All right. So, you gentlemen are both in Hawaii right now, correct?
Yes, sir. We just came over to my dad's house this morning just for this interview.
Okay, so what is life like right now in Hawaii, with, most of the world, dealing with the shutdown and the quarantines due to the pandemic? How are things going for you guys in Hawaii?
Honestly, it's a lot different because I guess tourism is pretty much stopped. So it feels like we went back in time about 15 years. It's less crowded. We live on Kauai, and it's a more country island out of all the islands. There's less city and stuff, and I think we got a Costco and a Walmart, and that's it's not too much, but it really is. It's nice. We've been in quarantine with our family, and we got a big farm, and so it's been a lot of farm work. We've been catching up on a lot of work, so it's really actually been kind of nice, but I definitely see how it's been scary for a lot of people, especially within the big cities. Yeah, for us, we've kind of been seeing it as a way to just to enjoy the small things. We got the waterfall here, and family reconnecting with our nieces and nephews and stuff. So it's been a good thing for us.
Now, I mean, from the way you describe it, being in Hawaii doesn't sound like the worst place to be, through all this right now. But how do you gentlemen feel like? Because MLW is not holding shows right now. So how does this whole sort of wrestling quarantine make you feel? Are you getting stir crazy? Are you chomping at the bit to get back into the ring?
A little bit of both. We're definitely making the most of this time. It's like my brother was saying. We're reconnecting with our nieces and nephews. I just had a son, so I'm getting to spend this important time with him while he's 9 months old. And so that part has been awesome. But we've been watching a lot of wrestling. We've been wrestling with each other a lot, just out in the farm, and just trying to stay sharp, trying to keep the metal sharp. We haven't had a gym or anything, so we're just trying to work out with what we have. We're sheep farmers, so we'll do some sheep curls every now and then, I guess. But that's it's just trying to stay sharp and keep each other ready. That's the name of the game, especially in wrestling and independent wrestling. That's what it kind of trained us to do, is always stay ready. You never know when you're going to get called.
Now, MLW's Court Bauer, he's definitely been staying busy through all of this. So what do you make of, Court Bauer? He's been continuing to stay active, and he's, continuing to make deals and make announcements for MLW right now.
Yeah, Court, he's always on the ball. He's always, working stuff out, working deals out and stuff. So, I mean, he kind of likes to keep it a surprise, so I don't know what exactly he's working on this time, but we're always excited about the future, and right now more than ever about the future of MLW. We know big things are coming. We don't know exactly what, but we know big things will come. And, of all people to be captain of the ship, we're happy Court Bauer is the captain, man. He is, to us, he's one of the greatest promoters that we've ever been around. He's got a brilliant mind. The way he treats his talent is just, it's just insane. We really did think this was all a joke. It all came in fruition, and it's been, something beautiful. But, we love working for a guy like Court. He's, some say he's like the modern day Paul Heyman with ECW, because you look in the locker room at MLW, and it's a lot of the misfits, the problem child, the guys who gotten kicked out of locker rooms for fighting. And he brings us all together to make, a big happy family in that locker room.
Now, have you gentlemen thought about what, life is going to be like once you guys get back in the ring and you guys will be able to start going to shows again? Do you think it might be an adjustment period with the way crowds will be incorporated into the events? Like, do you think it will be smaller crowds, or do you think it might even be a lack of crowds for a while in MLW once shows in TV does resume?
I think a little bit of both. There's a lot of unanswered questions. A lot of people are going to be afraid to show up in big gatherings, and what states are going to allow crowds before other states. We might have to go to different towns than MLW usually would go to, maybe due to the crowd situation. But I do think this is good for wrestling, and especially we've been watching a lot of wrestling with no crowds, and it's for the athletic perspective. It's entertaining for us, because the guys, there's less showboating. It's more the art of wrestling, and it's been entertaining for us to watch. But I definitely think the crowd has a big factor, especially for my brother and I. We feed off the crowd a lot, and it's definitely a big help for us and stuff. And so I would like to have big crowds again. But if it's 200, 300 people, I mean, we've done this before in the indie circuit, and we've done 50, 20 people, and so it's nothing different really. But yeah, I just hope the fans feel safe. That's most important.
Now, earlier I mentioned, you guys are part of the Von Erich family, but is there a balancing act where you guys are having your own journey and you guys are setting forth on your own journey? So is it a balancing act in carrying on the family legacy, but also wanting to have that journey for yourselves as well?
Yeah, there is. I mean, you can't ignore the family history, and there's pressure and all that kind of stuff as well. But us, we say this all the time, but the way we look at it, we go out there and we give it our own bet every single time, and as long as we do that, we feel like we're doing our job and everything's taken care of, Yeah, and we're nothing but blessed and happy that from the family we come from. That was just a blessing for us to be Von Erich, and that has done nothing but helped our careers so much. But it's up to us to fight like Von Erich, to carry ourselves like Von Erich. And my dad was telling us, well, what makes us different than the other Von Erichs, because we have each other and we're close, and that's what my dad had. He had his brothers, and they were really, really close. But I don't mean to sound preachy or anything, but the pressure doesn't get to us, because we are Christians, and this whole situation, this is a door that God's opened. We didn't open it, and so wrestling has been the only door that hasn't shut in our face. We've tried everything. We're in a shipping business. We both were going to be college athletes, and all doors have closed except for wrestling. So we got sent to Japan at an early age. As young guys, and it made us closer as brothers. We were all we had. We had to stick together, and it was just us and God, and that's really what we're sticking to. We take it moment by moment, day by day, and see what God can do for us, and we find our identity in that.
Okay, so Dominic Garrini, who joined MLW last year, he's recently, before things kind of stopped and shut down. He was teaming with Tom Lawlor, and when I talked to Dominic Garrini recently, he was talking about wanting to go after the Von Erich boys and going for the MLW tag title. So he said, Tom and I are definitely targeting them Von Erich boys. We just think they've been given everything in MLW, everything on a silver platter to them, where these guys like myself and Tom have had to work harder than those guys because our last name isn't Von Erich and we're not Dynasty wrestlers like they are. So they're definitely in our crosshairs. You know, what we did in Dallas was just the start of everything with them, and our game plan is to continue to terrorize them until they give us what we want, which is those tag team titles. Well, hot damn, fellas. Those are some fighting words if I ever heard them. What do you guys think, though?
Oh, that sounds like something Dominic would say. Tom Lawlor was like a brother to us. He was definitely he really was like a brother to us. He would come to Hawaii, spend time with us, spend time with him in Vegas. We trained together. He did nothing but helped us with our wrestling, with that ultimate fighting perspective, and it just helping us train and stuff. But the thing with him, I mean, you know, I still think there's a good man down in there, but he's insecure. When my brother got it, when I was supposed to get a title shot, I got jumped. And then because it's my brother, my older brother, I wanted my older brother to get the chance. Tom was just had a heavyweight title match with Fatu and lost the title. And my brother never had the opportunity, so I wanted my brother to take it. And I thought Tom would understand because we treated all three of each other like brothers. And it didn't turn out that way. It bothered Tom. You could tell he changed after Ross had his title match, turned on Ross. And it was just he believed that those thoughts in his head that weren't true, and he found a team of guys that that believed it too, and that's what Team Filthy is. And so, you know, if that's the way they want to go about it, we're not going to turn down anybody. We want to be fighting champions. We want to fight everybody for our belts, and we're just hungry. We cannot wait to get back in that ring and defend those titles. And yeah, I'm sure Team Filthy is going to be the first guys that come for it.
Well, I just think this is, you know, if you guys did lock up in the ring with Garrini and Lawlor, that would be a hell of a contest. But I think you guys have definitely earned, you know, your right to call yourselves champions, and you guys are having a great run with those belts. So, but I would still love to see that matchup. Yeah.
You know, I understand. You know, we've just been yes men. You know, we want to show up to work every day and just work our butts off, and whatever is asked of us, we just want to say, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, okay, the Dynasty, okay, Team Filthy, okay, yeah. You know, and so our goal is not to avoid any. And when we got to MLW, we didn't have any demands. We came to MLW originally because Tom Lawlor was a heavyweight champion and he had a target on his back. And he needed guys he could trust, people that would honor their word. And that's what we promised him. We promised him that we had his back. And so he was having a problem with Contra. We came down and we dominated Contra. Not just us as a team. We all did. And that was just the start of everything. And I wish Tom would remember that, but he forgot all of it as soon as my brother had the opportunity, you know. But we didn't demand any matches. We didn't demand any matches with the Dynasty. All of that happened from just being yes men and just ready for work. We're ready to battle wherever we go. And Chicago, that title match came way earlier than we thought it would, and we definitely were prepared. We've been waiting for this our entire career. You know, 8 years of wrestling, 9 years of wrestling has been all for this moment. And so we're going to defend these belts with everything that we have.
Now, that War Chamber event and match, guys, that looked like a simultaneous, like an amazing homecoming, but also a coming out party for you gentlemen. Your dad was in your corner, and it was such a fun, excellent match and showcase for you guys. So, but what was the experience getting to be a part of that War Chamber match, having your dad there, and of course in Dallas, Texas? Knowing what that city and how important it is, to the family name and legacy.
You know, anytime our dad's there, this man is the reason we got that we are where we're at, that we're into wrestling, that as kids we wanted to grow up and be like him. And so the fact that he was at that show it made the magnitude even crazier and bigger. And we had guys that low key, a lot of people know this. Low key though is a guy that we've looked up to and respected our entire career. We met him in Japan when we first started wrestling, and since the first day we met him, he was the guy that we talked to my dad and we talked to Low Key about getting any career advice, wrestling advice. Anytime we made any decisions, we talked to Low Key, and he's been such a major factor, a major player in our growth in wrestling. And so we really thought team-wise we were unstoppable. But being in Dallas, having my dad ringside, and then my dad stuck a claw on somebody too. It really was. It was just an unreal, beautiful moment, and the fact that it was all part of MLW and stuff like that that makes us really respect Court Bauer. That I think it's a little easier when you go into wrestling and nobody believes in you and you're trying to prove everybody wrong, but it's a whole different kind of pressure when everybody does believe in you and you got to prove them right. And that was the different kind of pressure we were experiencing over at War Chamber, and that's why we were prepared to die in that ring. We were going to leave it all in the ring.
Okay, so I think also, you guys won the tag team titles from the Dynasty in that Texas Tornado match last November. And honestly, I think, despite the shenanigans of the Dynasty, you guys had some really great chemistry and you guys had some great matches with them. What do you guys think of the chemistry you guys have with the Dynasty and what you guys were able to put together in the ring with them?
Man, it makes it a whole lot more organic when you're wrestling some guys that make you mad, and it's the same thing. Like Chavo Guerrero taught us something in the beginning of our career as a tag team. We had a match, and I was getting ganged up on, and my brother came in and pushed the referee down and defended me, and Chavo loved that, and he said, you're brothers. What would you do in a street fight? You defend each other. If you see your brother getting ganged up on, you defend him. And Dynasty, they're like hyenas. They really try to they're the opposite. They try to pick you apart. They try to distract you and isolate one of the opponents and put all the attention on one. And I see what they're doing. It's a tactic that most heels use, and so we're extremely prepared for it. But I definitely enjoyed wrestling them. It was a great time. I got a chance to have a singles match with MJF in one of his last shows in Dallas, and it definitely was. I could definitely feel some chemistry there. It was one of those matches that it's a guy you love to hate and you love to battle with. I'm definitely gonna miss him in MLW.
Now, Marshal, when I see you in that ring, I remember your dad. He kind of went in without the boots as well, and I remember how he talked about it was just, sort of a way so he wouldn't blow up, and because, with the heat, you sweat a lot, and it just made it easier for him. So, does wrestling without the boots, does it take a while to get used to, or is it easier than it looks?
It's the only thing I know. My first training camp at Harley Race's camp, I asked if I didn't have to wear shoes. I hate the wrestling shoes they gave me, and I really didn't want to wear them. And plus, my dad told me something that I remembered was, it's when you wrestle with no boots, just trunks, it's extremely easy to travel. We can travel light, and I love that. Bring my trade with me wherever I go. I just throw my trunks in my back pocket, and I'm ready to go. And I don't need to lace the boots or anything. And so it makes it easier, but also balance. Having balance in the ring and knowing my surroundings and knowing where I'm at. When I'm barefoot, I just feel that way. I'm barefoot 99% of the time at home. The only time I got to wear shoes is if I'm going to church or something else. That's 90. That's most of the reason I got to wear them. But I hate wearing shoes so much. My feet aren't made for them. If I wear shoes for too long, my toes poke holes in the sides of the shoes. I got white set feet. It just doesn't work.
Now, Ross, since you are the older brother, would you say that makes you more protective of Marshall, or do you like to prank him and rib him a lot and beat him up a lot to kind of toughen him up, Me being the younger brother, of the pair. I know how that is, but I'm just curious. How does it work? How does the dynamic work with you two?
No, believe it or not, the first day or two of training, I tried it too, and so I have a whole different kind of respect for guys that can wrestle barefoot. I feel like not everyone can do it. And so, there's some times where I try to prank them and dribble them and stuff. And, but I mean, what do you expect? I'm the older brother, but, I do actually have a ton of respect for guys that can do it barefoot because really, like I said, not everybody can do it.
Right.
And I respect, the athleticism that it requires, to do stuff.
Now, gentlemen, what was it like being trained, not just by your father, but also, the late, great Harley Race? And what were the biggest takeaways you got from getting trained from legends in the business such as them?
Harley Race was just such a good man. And I remember that day flying to Missouri and then driving down to Eldon. And we're in the car with my dad. We didn't really, it was all just a dream before that, and we got to see it kind of unfold in front of our faces. And there were some pro wrestling NOLA scouts, and so we became big Japanese wrestling fans, just fans of Japanese wrestling. And Harley Race also had a huge career in Japan, and so it was just these are men that have been places where we want to be, and it's if a guy's been wrestling longer than you and he has years on you. You can pick their brain, and you can, you can grow from them so much, and that's what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do with my dad is, grow from him and his brothers in state, and that's what he's, he's trying to get us to. We got so much experience just from sitting there and having lunch with Harley. We slept at his house the whole time we were in Eldon. We stayed with them. We played poker every night. We laughed, we joked, and we just got to know him as a man. And he was a good man. He really was. He really was one of the greats, and he was humble, and he taught. But he taught us a lot of holds, like some devastating holds that can get you out of some trouble, And my dad definitely said, he's like, everything, take everything he says to heart, listen to what he says, and it'll you'll be able to use it in the ring and use it in life. And definitely, we're grateful for all the opportunities he gave us.
With both of the experience you guys have had working in Japan, do you think it's inevitable at some point that MLW will hold shows in Japan? And what do you think that would be like?
I think so. I think yeah, like you said, I think it's kind of inevitable. I feel like the MLW style matches well with the Japanese style. And Court's relationship with a lot of the promotions over there, Pro Wrestling NOAH, where we began our careers in, and we're just excited for the future. Court's always on the ball doing stuff like this, and our dream is to go back to Japan. We'd love to go back, and our dream is to defend our titles all over the world. Our MLW titles in Japan and Israel and all these different cool places that we've been, and we want to make another round under the banner of MLW and make these title defenses. And then one thing we just started talking about too is, we're looking to the future, and that's good too. But we have a target over our backs as MLW Tag Team Champions right now. We got guys like Tom, and Tom will do anything he can to get on top and we just need to be ready for his shenanigans, the shady ways, and now he's got Team Filthy, these guys that are manipulated from Tom. He's definitely got he's the ringleader of that group, and they believe anything that he says. And so it's nothing against them. I just think they're all misled. But I feel bad. We're definitely gonna have to. We're going to have to slap them around a little bit because they want these titles bad, but we want them worse.
Another big thing, regarding your guys' legacy and journey, another hot spot you guys got to hit recently was the 2300 Arena, formerly the ECW Arena. So, what was it like to hit up and work such a legendary venue in a city like Philadelphia, and kind of getting to have that experience where, you guys are going around the world and you guys are hitting, many of these, sort of wrestling hallmarks.
That was so historical for us. That was anytime we're in a special place that we know is special to us in our careers. We call it a stoner remembrance. We'll pick up a stone, pick up a rock on the ground, and we'll write the day on it, and just to remember that moment in time. So I remember us being kids and having our toy wrestling ring and pretending like we're in the 23 arena, and it was just historical for us. We couldn't believe that we're actually super crazy. ECW super crazy had a huge effect on our impact on our careers as well. We stayed with him in Japan. He taught us so much. He was just a super down to earth guy, and he was a family man. And I didn't know you could do both in wrestling. I thought it was either wrestling or family, but he did both, and is doing both. And so he definitely gave us an awesome perspective on wrestling. But just getting to be in that arena alone, you could definitely just feel all the men that have sweat and bled in there, and title changes, and it was beautiful for us for sure.
Oh man, I just remember that video with your dad, where you guys, I think, was it the Dallas Sportatorium area, and you guys were walking around there, and you picked up rocks. That was just kind of the thing to just kind of remember the moment.
That's exactly it.
Oh man,
that's exactly it.
I got chills.
It was always our dream to wrestle at the Sportatorium, and then when it got torn down, we didn't think that dream would come to pass. But we've seen outdoor shows before, so maybe one day we'll do an outdoor show at the Sportatorium. That's another dream of ours. But to be there with our dad and have our bare feet touch the dirt, that my uncles, my grandfather, that that they basically grew up there, and they watched their dad wrestle. We got to watch our dad wrestle there. It was just so much history there, and that would be a dream of ours to get to work there. But being there with my dad was so special.
That was a great moment. It gave me chills when I saw that. So when you guys go to Texas, do you guys have some go-to hot spots for barbecue? Do you guys know the places to go to barbecue? Do you guys just like your own barbecue? Or I'm just curious, because I'm also from Texas, so I'm just curious what you think of the barbecue scene down there.
Oh, yeah, you're from Texas?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know we were talking to a fellow Texan, man.
Thank you, man.
Sorry about that. Well, hey, so one of our... We go there every single time we're in Texas, but it's in Louisville, and it's either called Old House or Small House. They just had a little fire, but they're back in business now. But it's right off the side of the highway, and man, what we do is we get 2 pounds of chopped beef, and we just get a whole bunch of buns, and we just go crazy at it. And if we can finish it, we'll get another pound. But that's usually our go-to place. We just started going to the Heart 8 place, and that's definitely. That's closer to the hotel, so we've been hitting that a lot. Before we were on the indie team, we'd stay in Texas for about a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so we love Tex-Mex, we love barbecue, we love going to Cowboy games. We're definitely still Texan.
Okay, good. So you guys aren't vegan yet?
No way. Yeah, Hawaii hadn't rubbed off on us too much.
Okay, that's really all I have for today, Ross and Marshall. Before I let you go, I just wanted to give you some time if you want to do any social media plugs, any merchandise plugs, anything else you got going on that you'd like to share with our listeners. Just wanted to give you that time to do that, and this was a lot of fun. It was a great interview, guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and if you want to see what we're up to, you can go on Twitter, Marshal Von Erich or Ross Von Erich, and we're on Instagram at Ross and Marshal Von Erich, Rams Von Erich, and then you can go get our merch at MLWshop.com or Pro Wrestling Tees, the Von Erich store. We're all around, and pretty soon, we don't know when, but we're going to try to get a YouTube channel going on.
Oh wow!
When we start traveling again, because we've got a pretty unique life in Hawaii. We're sheep farmers. We're deep sea diving all the time. We're cliff jumping. We're definitely, but it's just my brother and I that see it. Like, man, we should show other people what we're doing. The other day we caught a dying shark where we're jumping off a place called Shipwreck. There was a baby shark stuck in some reef. We pulled it out. We brought it on the beach. And I said, man, we should have filmed this. You know, and it's there's definitely some cool experiences that we want people to be a part of. And so just stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll let everybody know when we do when we start that YouTube channel.
Guys, this was great. You guys are doing great right now. You guys aren't in a rush. You guys, I think, are doing the right things. I think you guys are making great choices. And I cannot wait to see what you guys do next. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back in a wrestling ring near us very soon. So thank you guys. Ross and Marshall, the MLW Tag Team Champions. They are the Tag Team Champions of the world, and they are awesome. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you having us. So thank you, Jeff. We really appreciate it. And then, hey, maybe next time we're in Texas, we'll go have some barbecue together.
All right. Hook 'em horns. All right, and that was Ross and Marshall Von Erich, the MLW Tag Team Champions. They are doing really good. Thank you very much to them for joining us for the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. Really appreciated it. I just think they're doing good, man. They're not in any rush to get anywhere. They're having their journey. They're having their career on their own terms. They're not in a rush to get to WWE, to Impact, or even AEW. But I can imagine the next time their contracts are up, they're going to be hot free agents because I think they are rising stars in the business. They're great workers, and I just think they're making good decisions, and they're doing good in the business so far. And I mean, they're just doing work on their family's land, through this whole pandemic. So I was really impressed with that. All right, so if you are listening to this show and you are listening on YouTube, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, if you can leave us a like, a subscribe, or comment on YouTube, I'd very much appreciate it. If on Apple Podcasts, you can leave us a 5-star review or comment, I would very much appreciate it. But thank you just for listening nonetheless. I am Jeffrey Harris, the J to the E to the double F-free, and you have been listening to the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.